Hello and welcome to the first ever 18th episode of Whoniverse. You're here with me, Jamie.
Me, Brian.
And me, Lewis.
Brian, can't you whistle?
I can't whistle now.
Oh, we're not even better than I thought it would.
Brilliant.
We've been planning this all day, and we were talking about how people who can't whistle aren't really human.
Yeah. My wife's one of those, and Jamie's wife's another one of those.
And the podcast wife is one of those.
Ian Fleming in the Bond books actually hypothesised that homosexuals can't whistle either.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a strange one, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
He was a strange man, Ian Fleming.
What does your wife see in you, by the way?
Her, I don't know. She's drunk all the time. Thankfully.
So, had an interesting week. Had an interesting day, actually. Had some issues at work. So, today's podcast was hit some hiccups on the way, which wasn't helped by Brian doing a yo-yo on whether he's going to be joining us today or not. Thankfully, he did come in. So, kick it off with our first topic, voting in the TARDIS. If you could watch any episode of Doctor Who again for the first time, what would it be? The options were The Empty Child, one of my personal favourites, Hellbent, Silence in the Library, and Terror of the Zygons, our classical choice. I think in the future, for impartiality, so we can see which is the best of the classic and which is the best modern, we'll include 2 classic and 2 modern, so it's like a two-way poll at the same time, rather than look at which did worse, which did best. Where, I mean, you know what I mean? You can have sort of 2 polls at once, can't you? Except you can't vote twice. So, out of those 4 options, which would you have chosen and why? We kind of touched on it last week, so...
Yeah. Well, I think, last week I said Hellbent, as it was my suggestion, and I am kind of, a bit peeved to see it only got 8% on 8%,
the vote. Yeah, dead last. Actually, it wasn't dead last.
It wasn't dead last.
Terror of Zygons was last at 7%. Sorry, Brian.
We did produce another landslide.
But it's like we mentioned previously. A lot of the listeners are new Who fans, but they got introduced through Eccleston rather than Tom Baker or Patrick Charlton. Which is why I'm surprised The Empty Child didn't do better than it did, really. But it's because Silence of the Library is such a crucial episode, which kind of is because of Silence of the Library that we ended up with such a great series with Matt Smith's era. So it's the end of a storyline, and we got to see the lead up to that episode throughout the entirety of Smith's era, which was really good. At the timey-wimey, seeing the end of a series before the next Doctor even comes out. Quite miraculous. Excellent. Brian, I assume your choice would be Terror of Zygons.
Absolutely, yeah. First classic episode I ever remember watching.
So like Empty Child for me, it introduced you to a
series.
series.
Scared the bejesus out of me.
Yeah, Empty Child still.
Yeah. We've not done Terror of Zygons on...
No, do you own that one?
Yet?
Do you own that one?
I think we can do that one week, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We do have some comments from the listeners. Now, a lot of the comments I had to cut out because most of the comments consisted of where is Blink? Why is it Blink on the poll? I really wanted Blink. I didn't include Blink because I didn't want a slant slide, but had I included Blink...
A slant
slide, yeah. We could have...
prevented.
We could have removed Hellbent or Terror of the Zygons.
We could have prevented the landslide that was the Silence in the Library as well.
I think Blink would have given it a run for its money. I think Blink would have been the landslide instead then. So, you're really good at Serbian accents, Lewis. Credit back to your missus.
I don't know so much about that, And I'm sure if my missus ever listened to this podcast, which I know she doesn't,
your in-laws
she'd probably take offence. It's fine. My in-laws wouldn't even realise, they don't speak English, so that's brilliant,
So we got our first comment from NB Maybe on Twitter.
NB Maybe. Here we go then. Let's have a look. I'd have to go with Vincent and the Doctor. I still get teary when the Doctor brings Vincent to Bill's 90. What? to Bill Nighy character and how and hear how important he was. And then again, when Amy has to deal with fact, he is still killing himself, even knowing how loved his work was.
Yeah, so there's a lot of outcry, aside from Blink for Vincent and the Doctor to be included in the poll.
Yeah.
And the next comment is actually a response to that tweet from Effing Hardu.
Yeah, the thing is, though, we're never going to be able to cater for everybody because there's a wide variety of excellent episodes.
There's too many to choose from,
And, it's just too much, isn't it? So here we go for Effing Hardu. Effing Hardu? Effing Hardu?
I think it's effing. I think it's supposed to be a sweary word.
That episode, Vincent and Doctor, meant my teenage son, plus a girlfriend, happily came along to Van Gogh exhibition in Melbourne with me. Of course, they know it was not Vincent's real story, but it made him human.
Why are you telling people off?
It made him human to them. They really enjoyed the day. So I double love that episode now.
Yeah, so there's a lot of agreement on Vincent and the Doctor. We've got another. I think I want to read the next one. From Helen Fredstam.
Wait. I think you should read it in an Australian accent.
Okay, I need to channel my inner
in
boomerang. Right, hang on a second.
Like we did there. For the listeners, Jamie's just turned his paper upside down.
Okay.
This is going to be good.
Come on, Jamie.
The size of a tangerine. Didgeridoo. Think that's a knife? Yes, it's a knife. The Waters of Mars. I loved that episode so much.
Sounded a bit like Doctor Strangelove. Rather than
And that's my
Australia.
Australia.
Does he know where Australia is?
I don't think he does.
I put my paper upside down
Okay.
and I said a couple like popular catchphrases. I forgot to mention Sheila.
Oh my.
So that's general consensus of the poll
For any Australians that might be listening to this, we are
so
sorry. We are really
Well, there's at
sorry.
least one. There's effing Hardu.
So, by the way, Lucy, I forgot to put sugar in my coffee, so thanks for that.
Oh no, I put one sugar in.
You put one. I have 2 sugars.
I don't care, honestly.
Stick your finger in
Sugar's
it.
bad. Sugar's bad for you.
All right, Doctor. So for the next poll, I thought we could have a running poll, a couple of running polls for the next couple of weeks, where we look at the best 4 episodes for each Doctor, leading up to what's the name? What's the face? Jodie Whittaker.
What's the face?
What's the
current
face?
one?
Yeah. What's the face?
Thingamabob.
Yeah. So I was thinking we could possibly do the best and the 4 best Christopher Eccleston episodes. So obviously my choice would always be The Empty Child. I do bring that episode up a lot.
Yeah.
I credit The Empty Child with my introduction to Doctor Who. Now, if you can't remember the name of the episode, don't worry, we can look it up post-show. Okay, but what sort of episodes would you want to see in this poll?
Well, the last 2 episodes of that series are really the only 2 episodes that I give decent credit to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't particularly like Eccleston's. I like Eccleston's Doctor. Don't get me wrong, he plays a fantastic Doctor, but the series itself
He was very intense as a Doctor.
Yeah, but the series itself, it's just lacking something that the rest of them really had. I would say Bad Wolf.
consider that show to be in his series to be the one where they've just relaunched it and still finding their feet.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is evidently when Tennant stepped in, and it's a shame that Christopher Eccleston stepped out when he did, because he would have been even more notable than he already is, as because he is
After
known
3
that
years in the role.
he's the reason Doctor Who is on
yeah.
TV right now.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him do more than one series.
Yeah.
We keep asking him to come back, but I think you've got some info
I
about
got,
later on,
I
haven't
got a
you?
little bit of info about that.
Yeah. So
For
for me, it's The Empty Child. But
yeah, Bad Wolf and the Parting of the Ways, the last 2 episodes of the series are really where I'd put that entire series at. You know, like they were phenomenal episodes. I can get past Billy Piper's bad acting in that. You know,
Bad Wolf, come on.
Just because the writing's so good for those 2 episodes. And there is a build-up throughout the entire series about the Bad Wolf arc. You know, you see it in the very first episode, I think.
There's a theory. I need to look into this. Well, not a theory. What's the word? A rumor. That's unfounded because I haven't looked into it too much myself. But apparently, in every episode of the Eccleston's era, it does actually say "Bad Wolf" somewhere in the episode. Like you wait on the TARDIS, on a random bit of graffiti on the wall. Apparently, just say "Bad Wolf" in every single episode.
I'd say with confidence, it does feature in every single episode.
Yeah. So I think Bad Wolf, you know, it's kind of like it's the Pandora's box of Eccleston's era, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I say Pandora's box as finales go, it's probably one of the best finales of Doctor Who in general. Like, I don't know about you, Brian, but would you say that includes Classical Who as one of the best finales?
Didn't really have story arcs or finales in Classic Who. They kind of just had 4 or 5 stories.
Yeah.
And then nothing would really happen at the end.
Yeah, we'll come to that later on because
tie them together.
I found in Classic Who so far it's always had a bit of a soft ending, but no, not to get sidetracked. So you go for Bad Wolf.
Yeah, I mean Bad Wolf and the Parting of the Ways, but the only other episode in that season that I can say I liked was Father's Day, the one where Rose is down. Just because it pulls at your heartstrings.
Are you sure that was Eccleston and not Tennant?
No, that was Eccleston.
Oh, definitely.
Because Rose Tyler, her dad comes back, and it wasn't.
I remember the episode. For some reason, I'm thinking Tennant.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was Kate. Yeah.
So, what about you, Brian? What sort of?
I've included Aliens London World War 3. I've counted that as one episode because it's kind of a double header, isn't it? Purely for the lines, "You mind not farting while I'm trying to save the world." And
No,
I think these are...
Excuse me, you mind not farting while I'm saving the world?
I think the Slovene were the first decent new Who monsters that they had. And let's face it, Slovene in a skin suit would be a better candidate for Prime Minister than any of the lot we've got at the moment.
He was in Game of Thrones as well.
Who's Slovene?
No, the actor who played the thing that went across his head.
Rupert van der Sart.
That's his name. We were discussing that, and I was surprised you remembered his name. But he was in Game of Thrones, very notable character. He was in the finale as well.
I mentioned Dalek as well because it's the Daleks.
Exterminate.
And Henry Van Statten, budget Bond villain.
Okay.
And a great line in that. How did he get in? In through the window.
That was Tennant.
No, it wasn't.
It was Tennant.
Was that Tennant?
Yeah. He goes, "How do you feel I got in? In through the window."
No, I'm fairly sure I'd be
It
prepared
may have been repeated by
I'm willing to put...
I'm prepared to put 20 pence.
20 pence. How about
charity of your choice.
A gentleman's bet, £1.
I'll do the looking up on this one. So what's the line?
How did he get in?
In through the window.
How did you get
I think Henry Van Straten said it and then Tennant nicked it in the Santarum.
It doesn't matter anyway. It doesn't matter.
Jamie's wrong.
Out of the options we've come up with so far, how do you feel? Who do you think would win?
I think it would be Bad Wolf Parting the Ways.
Bad Wolf, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say Bad Wolf Parting of the Ways, just because it is, you know.
I hate you both. It's going to be The Empty Child.
No,
The Empty Child is the ultimate episode from Eccleston's era.
I honestly.
Yeah. The other episode that always sticks in my mind, in Eccleston's era, is the one where he gets stuck in Big Brother.
Oh yeah. That is Bad Wolf. Bad Wolf.
Oh, is it called Bad Wolf?
Yeah. That was Bad Wolf.
Oh, right.
They have the Anbot on it.
It's like I said at the beginning. I can't remember a lot of the names of the episodes. But
Weakest Link.
Yeah.
You add Weakest Link.
The Android.
Android.
Yeah, Android and
who takes out a couple of Daleks. Give her credit. Or the Trinity and
Well,
Susanna spoof.
Anne Robinson is the epitome of evil. Anne Robinson, if you're listening, you are the epitome of evil and you agree with me wholeheartedly. To the American listeners or the younger ones who don't know who Anne Robinson is, just look up pure evil and she'll pop up. So that's it for Topical Who.
Yeah, the only reference I can find is in Through the Window is the Tennant era. It's a Sultaran episode.
That's what I thought.
In Through the Window.
Sorry, just bring it up next week. So, Lewis,
Yo.
what have we got for the news?
Right, okay, so for the news.
Bum, 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 bum.
Right, okay, so here we go then. We got Christopher Eccleston now.
I'd love to see the news at 10 and the newscasters get a load of crumpled post-it notes and just go, I don't know, things happened today.
I can't wait till we have this podcast up as a video.
Yeah.
People are going to be looking at it.
I'm going to have to be more professional.
I mean, just so you know, right, in your minds, you're probably thinking, like, we're sat in this proper geeked out room, and it's like we've got, like, Doctor Who, we've got, like, a massive poster behind us, the Whovian Whoniverse logo, but in actual respect, it's 4 walls. They're all painted white. One's actually a window with a view of a brick wall behind us.
It's quite a nice window.
And then there's Lewis for his news section, uncrumbling like 20 sticky notes. And
It's true.
And on these sticky notes can only be described as hieroglyphs.
Just Alice Stewart News at 10 just going, oh, things happen.
It's
Boris Johnson probably did something.
It's like you wrote one with an Argos pen, but the back of the Argos pen has been chewed off, so you have to hold your thumb off the top of the Argos pen to carve the letters in.
Anyway,
Cheers for that.
The news.
Right, so I was reading a bit about Eccleston today, and is the way he left the show. Now, I think you're aware that he didn't leave on the best terms.
Yeah, the only thing I really know about that is that there were some disagreements between him and the showrunner.
The show writer as well.
So he had a problem with Russell T Davies.
He had a problem with quite a few people, and the producers as well. He stated in his in the interview with the Independent that they hadn't treated him well. He sees it as one of the bigger mistakes in his career, even though he loved Doctor Who and he wanted to do it initially. So
he considers being on Doctor Who in the first place as a mistake.
He does, because he says that it destroyed his career at that point in time. It pretty much turfed him out, of the limelight. He basically says that it left his career in tatters, and the BBC blacklisted him at the time, so that the people in charge of the BBC at the time had said that Eccleston could never work for the BBC again. Obviously things change, and management shifts, and he has since worked for the BBC.
Because what could he have possibly done that was worse than anything Jeremy Clarkson was doing at that time?
Yeah, and I think with Eccleston, you listen to interviews with him, and he seems like such a reasonable bloke. I mean, how's he said or done anything to offend these people?
The way he's been portrayed in the past, from what I've read about Eccleston in the past, about his behaviour on set.
Yeah,
I've always read that he was the problem. He had issues with this. It's what he wanted. He wanted to be treated like a star, and he was being a bit of a prat, basically.
Right, so that's possibly where it comes from. So basically what he did then is, as his UK career was pretty much over for the now, he couldn't really work. If the BBC blacklist you, then other organisations kind of think twice about taking you on.
Yeah.
He went to Hollywood and did a few movies in the States to keep his career alive.
He was in Iron Man. Not Iron Man, Thor.
Yeah, he notes that as one of the biggest mistakes of his career as well.
Really? What?
Yeah.
It was the worst of the Marvel films.
Yeah, he says that Thor was a big mistake. He doesn't give reasoning behind it. He doesn't name any names or anything like that. But he just said that he didn't enjoy the project and he did it just for the money. And he said that he'd become he'd become a call guy. Let's say call guy because I can't say like the actual word for these movie productions. He said that Gone in 60 Seconds he really enjoyed playing the bad guy in Gone in 60 Seconds. He said that Nicolas Cage is fantastic to work with. Really enjoyed working with Nick Cage. But some of the bigger productions that he worked on, he really didn't like.
Because I think the first time I saw him in Doctor Who, the first time I've seen him in television since Doctor Who was in Heroes, where he was the Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Which at first, considering I hadn't seen him.
Wait, Christopher Eccleston was the Invisible
Man?
Man?
He was the Invisible Man, and he was the crazy bird guy.
I swear I didn't see him.
Hey.
Funny. But
I'm here all week.
But at first I didn't recognise him because the dude's a chameleon.
Yeah.
It's like he's so good at it. He can just he changes.
He's intense.
Changes again. It's like he might not change his appearance, he might dress slightly differently, but you would not believe it's the same person. You have to look twice and wow, that's him. I mean, but that's the thing about being cast as the Doctor. You're always going to be typecast. You're going to be remembered as the Doctor. That's why after Tendency were finished, he struggled to find work. So did Matt Smith. Capaldi still can't find regular work.
I've got a little bit about Smith later about what he's currently up to. So you can tell that Eccleston has a bit of an ego.
He does have an ego. He was charging £500 for an autograph at a local Comic-Con.
Whoa, that's a lot.
It was. I think it was Huddersfield, wasn't it, Brian?
Who's that? Sorry,
Christopher Eccleston. He was at Huddersfield Comic-Con.
He wasn't this year's, no.
He said basically this was the full line that I was going to read out earlier. He said, "I gave the BBC a hit show and it left my career in tatters, or it left my career in ruin."
Thing is, he didn't give the BBC a hit show. I mean, he was crucial, absolutely crucial.
He helped revive.
But you have to wonder if they brought anybody else in,
would it have,
considering the direction they wanted for the Doctor, because he was Doctor actors after Eccleston were given a little bit more freedom. Right. Tennant Shea was forced to have an English accent, but in regards to how they acted as the Doctor, they were given a lot of freedom. Eccleston wasn't. So how he portrayed himself as a Doctor was how they'd have instructed any other actor to play the Doctor as well. Yeah. So I think. We do credit. It's Russell T Davies with credit with reviving the series, not Eccleston. Although I do credit him with my enthusiasm towards the show. His
acting certainly helped revive the show, and as you say, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Given if you put many other actors in that position, you would have had the same result. Eccleston delivered a powerful performance. What's the line?
I'll never forget the monologue he was saying about. How he felt the earth moving beneath his feet, and how tiny and insignificant he feels in the grand scheme of the universe.
The way Eccleston acts, it reminds me of the improv in Blade Runner at the end of Blade Runner. Like when those scenes come up where as you say, I can feel the movement of the earth beneath my feet and all that sort. It reminds me of that improv at the end of Blade Runner.
I've seen
such a powerful scene.
Horizon.
I have seen C-beams off the belt of Orion and all that sort of thing. I don't know. Have you seen the Blade Runner movie?
I have seen Blade Runner. Don't worry about spoiling it for me.
That last scene, it was complete improv, by the way.
Was it really?
Yeah. There was no scripts to that.
What did you say about the electric sheep?
Sorry, it's called the book is called Do Androids?
Oh, right. Okay.
It's by Philip K. Dick, one of the most prolific. What is it? Sci-fi writers.
So mature, Brian.
You just laugh.
Sorry.
By the way, how do you get Dick from Richard?
That's nicely. Buy him a couple of drinks.
Well, I have actually looked into the etymology of this, but I'm not going into it because it takes a while.
No, it's fine.
There we go.
Just as a point of interest, or not, depending on how you look at it, just looking at a list of actors considered for all the Ninth Doctor.
Yeah.
Hugh Grant.
Yeah, I think we touched on that previously as well.
I couldn't see him as a Doctor. He's just not.
He regrets passing it up.
Yes.
Does it?
Watch The Curse of Fatal Death, which is a Red Nose Day spoof where he plays the Doctor.
I think he'd have been an alright Doctor, though.
I don't think he's got the repertoire for it.
Dude's got range.
Yeah.
Has he really?
He does.
Mean, he just
You
plays...
only know him from rom-coms.
Yeah, he plays rom-coms, and that's all I know him from. Yeah, I've never seen him in anything but a rom-com. So it's like seeing Robin Williams outside of a comedy. Like it's strange and unheard of.
1 Hour Photo. Go watch it.
Yeah. What Dreams May Come as well was
and Alan Cumming as well, who later cropped
Really?
up as King James in the.
Who?
Alan Cumming,
What?
who played King James.
No, I heard you. I just can't believe what I heard.
Do you know Alan Cumming? No, well, thanks
Right.
for the tip.
No, did you hear what I said?
Calm down, Lewis. I don't want to make cuts in the podcast.
Yeah, no.
He said cuts then, didn't he?
Yeah, he did say cuts.
Right.
And you know who else wanted to... I forgot what her name is now.
Judi Dench.
No.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg
Yeah.
also wanted to be the Doctor.
She did,
She wanted
yeah.
to be part of the BA revival as well. As noted in Tennant's got a podcast called A Conversation With. And in one of them was an interview with Jodie Whittaker, Whoopi Goldberg, and she talks about how she really, really wanted to be the Doctor, but you have to be British.
Yeah, I mean, could you ever see an American Doctor? And I mean, you don't. I suppose you don't need
At
to be
one
British,
point-
but you need to be able to do a British accent
No,
at the very least.
no. Capaldi used Capaldi. He used a Scottish accent.
Which is a British accent.
There's no such thing as a British accent.
Yeah, a British accent
It's too broad.
is an accent that comes from the British Isles. You know?
Right.
Scotland being part of the British Isles.
I feel an American can be the Doctor, provided they choose the right actor. They can use an American accent. I don't mind, as long as it's a good actor who can portray the Doctor for who the Doctor is, he or she or it.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Well, it might be somewhere to go as well.
It's like when Nicholson said, you know, I might regenerate 2 heads. Hey, maybe no head.
Excellent. So the next bit is it's Matt Smith. He's doing
Nothing.
Well, no, he is actually doing something. There's a series political thriller called Official Secrets that's coming out. It's set in he's starring alongside Keira Knightley, Ralph Fiennes, and Matt Goodyear. I don't know how to pronounce that, but nah. It takes place in 2003. Nervy? Is that how would you pronounce it?
No one can read your writing on this.
Nervy. Alright,
No lie.
the synopsis is as politicians in Britain and the USA angle to invade Iraq, so it's one of those pre-Iraq invasion bits. Translator Catherine Gunn, that's Knightley's character, leaks classified emails that urge spying on members of the UN Security Council to force through the resolution to go to war. Charged with breaking Official Secrets Act and faced with imprisonment, Catherine's solicitors set to defend her actions. Now, it didn't mention the character that Smith would be playing in this.
A bloke, probably.
I'm thinking maybe her solicitor, but it's possible he's not got that much of a role in it. But there has been photos and everything of him on set, so we do know he's there. He is going to be in this, but as you say, you know, we haven't seen much from Smith lately. I mean, what was he in after Doctor Who? I know he went to.
Karen Gillian has been as stated that Smith is expressing interest in joining the Marvel Universe in future films. He was offered an unknown role before. People are saying it was possibly Doctor Strange, but he turned it down because he wanted to continue with TV acting, which he also says how he wished he'd picked it up now, knowing where it all went.
That's slightly strange, isn't it?
It is quite strange, yeah. Yeah, he could have been the Doctor again, and it would have been. It wouldn't have been strange at all.
Not just that, but didn't Cumberbatch also interview for the Doctor at one point? Or he was. They were trying to get him as the Doctor, but they interviewed Smith, and
Who was also interviewed for Shield.
No,
it was
the other way around. So we always wanted Cumberbatch to be Sherlock,
Yeah.
but Matt Smith went and auditioned for Sherlock as well, just as a just because.
So Cumbersmith.
Cumbersmith.
Yeah, Cumbersmith.
Yeah.
Cumbersmith has had history.
And there was once talks with Moffat about a possible crossover, which never came to fruition because we decided there were two different universes. But it turned out the actual reason was because Eccleston didn't want. No, not Eccleston. What am I saying? Cumberbatch didn't want the show to cross over because he was worried about being upstaged.
Nice.
Hasn't the Marvel thing finished now?
No. It will never finish, Brian.
I thought they had the Avengers Assemble Endgame, whatever it was. That was it.
Yeah, but there's many story arcs. This is just one story arc.
That was the end of the first story, which took like 20 films to tell.
Yeah. Right. That's the Infinity Gauntlet story arc, and then there's many more after that. So yeah, it'll never finish.
It's another 50 years, don't worry.
Yeah. So I think the last thing I'd seen Matt Smith in was something, he was doing a bit of theatre, I believe, on Broadway. And
he sings as well.
He sings as well.
It's a good image.
That's range, isn't it? Like having
there's a good image online. If you look up Matt Smith in a dress, is performing on stage, dressed up as a woman.
Right, so the other rumour about Smith's acting career is that he might be playing a part in the new Star Wars movie. The what are they calling it? The Rise of Skywalker. I didn't know
if he had any large four-headed characters left for him to play.
Brian? What character would you like to see Smith play in the new Star Wars movie?
Bearing in mind the last Star Wars film I watched was Rise of the Machines, whatever it was called.
Rise of the Machines? That's Terminator.
Wow.
You
asked the wrong person.
The Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens, yeah.
He could play
the first of the new
Stormtrooper.
Fair, that's what I say.
Stormtrooper.
Do
you not feel him to be a Jedi or anything like that, Jamie? What would you say?
Right, let me tell you what sort of character Matt Smith is going to be playing in Star Wars. Can't tell you because it would be a character that has been unannounced and hasn't been in Star Wars. So it's a very unfair question.
Jar Jar Smith.
In regards to what type of character Matt Smith would play, I don't think he'd play a human role.
Interesting.
In Star Wars, we typically enjoy casting, especially in modern Star Wars. Not in the original trilogy with Alec McGuinness, who's a notable actor, but in like the prequel trilogy, the new trilogy, they've tried to focus more so in the sequel trilogy, trying to focus on characters that are actors that are more unknown, that are going to be not as recognised. So those unrecognised characters will play human characters, like for example the person who plays Rey or Finn. No one knows their names because they're unknown actors. I should say something I should know them by now. It's been a couple of years. Matt Smith, who is a notable actor, so I think he would be put in makeup just like Simon Pegg was.
Oh yeah.
And you won't know it's him. He'll just be in it because hey, Matt Smith is in this.
He'll play a wisecracking alien.
A wisecracking alien.
Yes.
He probably won't speak English to go, oh ha.
Yeah, no, but
you'll never know it was him. It could be anyone. Yeah. It's like Kevin Smith is a stormtrooper, but even he couldn't tell you which one it was.
He played a stormtrooper.
Yeah, well, he just voiced a stormtrooper. He went in for God's sake, said "Traitor" 100 times, and then they selected one to put in the film. He's credited as a stormtrooper. No one knows which stormtrooper he is.
Brian Blessed was one of the prequel ones as well. There's some underwater world they go to.
Yes,
I've tried to put the first three films out on mine.
The Gungans.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed episode 1 controversially.
I think he played King of the Gundams.
Gundams?
Gundaments.
No one really knows, Brian.
He knows.
Someone knows.
Brian Bless would know, and he'll shout it now and we'll hear him.
Oh, yeah.
An ex-doctor. Ex-almost doctor. Yeah. So, anything else for the news?
Well, he was also in Doctor Who, wasn't he, Brian? Yes, he played, I can't remember the part now, but...
he played Brian Blessed like he does everything else.
No, that's everything I've got for the news right there.
So, Brian, over to you. History lesson.
Yes. So have we watched Dalek Invasion with us?
I have.
Yes. Thoughts?
It's black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found that when I had to pause it, and walked away, went to the toilet, make some food. I come back and I've lost my spot. Fast forwarding to the part where I was very difficult because everything looks the same. So I ended up watching episode 3 twice.
Right,
Excellent.
Okay.
I'd seen it before. I only watched up to the 3rd episode this time round, mainly because too much to do elsewhere. But I enjoyed it. I like Hartnell's series. I think it's quirky because it's the stumbling over the lines and they just keep it in, like all that sort of thing. I really like the part at the end of the first episode where the Dalek rises out of the water. It's
iconic Doctor Who.
It really sort of, that point you realise it's the invasion of Earth from the Daleks, because we're from this, and I think I asked you about it, whether they would have known that the Daleks were coming back beforehand. But if you didn't know the Daleks were coming back, that rising out of the water very slowly, it was ominous. It was, it was a thing of beauty.
Well, as I say, as I said to you, back then each individual episode was individually named.
Yeah.
So episode 1 was called World's End.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that. I found it.
That would have given. But I think, if my memory, not memory of the actual event because I wasn't born, but memory of research into it, the Radio Times did properly plug the Daleks about.
Yeah. I can imagine.
There's a great shot of some Daleks on Westminster Bridge.
Oh yeah.
That was for me. That was the most iconic shot of the episode.
Well, they were sat at the bottom of Nelson's column, weren't they, with some alien-like writing at one point, and you can't, in such a public place. I don't think you'd be able to hide that really, to the public, would you?
How did they record? Did we have to close all the streets to record that?
I think they would have done.
It weren't recorded.
It's
not like today where you can just get a green screen and make it look like you're there.
It looked like it was recorded in the early morning, though.
Yeah.
If you have a look at the weather and the way it looks and the way the light's falling, it looks like it's recorded really early morning.
Back then, first thing Sunday morning, no one's
on the street. Yeah.
It wasn't like.
See, if you look back, Clerks, for example, you would not believe that was all recorded like in the early hours, like it's 1-2 o'clock in the morning when it is pitch black.
Yeah.
But because it's in black and white, you can film it any time of the day and say whatever time. Say, it's 5 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning. It's all going to look the same.
So, my favourite bit is where I think it's the beginning of episode 2 where the Doctor says to Ian, "What we need to do is come up with a plan and defeat them." And the Dalek says, "I heard that."
My favourite quote of the episode was, "What you really need is a jolly good smacked bottom."
I like the bit where Jenny, that's the one. She was being a bit irate, and Susan just turns to her and goes, "Oh, shut up, Jenny." It reminded me of Jenny from work.
Yeah, or the Barbara says, "Well, I can cook."
Yeah.
And one of the other characters says to Susan, "What can you do?" "Well, I can eat."
Yeah. That's brilliant.
I did find, in regards, because the way the First Doctor's portrayed a lot is very sexist.
Yeah.
I didn't find the Doctor to be actually that sexist in this. I found everyone else to be very presumptuous, like, "Yep, you're the cook."
Yeah.
Like, everywhere they went, like, "What can you cook?" "Okay, I can get by."
Yeah.
Like, everywhere you go, women are cooking, I think this is a product of its time.
I think it was of its time,
definitely.
very much so.
But
I
I found the Doctor to be very. I found him to be like the beacon of hope. He was always the one encouraging people to better themselves, and he was always sat in the middle like it was a campfire, like, "And here's a story about my life. You're gonna do good."
Yeah. People look to him for his wisdom as well, because he's the older gentleman in the room.
The most forced line in the entire story was, well, after a massive conversation about how she's like listening to him and her boyfriend instead of a doctor. The most forced line comes in. "So what do you think we should do, Doctor? Because you're the most senior companion in our party."
Yeah.
And the Doctor goes, "Aha! Well."
And he's like, "We should do the thing that I said we shouldn't do."
I'd also forgotten about the use of his monocle.
Yeah.
Every so often he'd get a monocle.
It was so forced, but I found the acting to be very. I think because maybe we kept forgetting the lines you said.
Yeah,
It,
no.
it made the flow of the acting seem more natural. It was more of a natural flow of conversation, which is very unlike other classical episodes where it feels like you mentioned one time. We look at the camera a lot.
Yeah.
And it feels more like a player like speaking to the camera. But speaking to the audience, but it felt more natural, like there was natural conversation happening. Like I could believe that what was happening was actually happening in that world, and that wasn't just watching a story.
Yeah.
But it was an actual experience happening in black and white. So that's something I found really interesting. I wonder if it will ever be colorized as well.
I
it could happen.
wouldn't be in favour of that. I think that would take something away from it, to be honest.
They did do...
At one point, but she literally says...
everything, so...
At one point, she literally says, "So what happens when the marker gets to red?" And I'm like, "Which one's the red one?" Why are you
What
mentioning?
happens when it gets to light grey?
And then there was another point saying, "Over there, by the yellow bricks." What yellow? Why are you mentioning it's black and white?
I think one thing that stood out to me and detracts from this story arc is the use of improper materials in the Dalek ship, especially. You could tell by the sound that the grapes were making and everything that were made out of wood, and I think this detracted from the idea, the fantasy of this being an alien spaceship.
Right, I'll tell you what detracted from the fantasy is how light the Daleks were. One fella managed to lift a Dalek over his head and throw him, and I was like, "Who? What?
This guy's strong as hell."
Who are you?"
Wait till we watch the chase.
These dustbins took over Earth, and all we had to do was push them over. What? It was just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What was wrong with the TARDIS? Did something happen previously in Doctor Who, or did the TARDIS always look quite battered?
Well, in the previous episode, or this previous story, Planet of the Giants, the Dalek? Oh, I'm speaking in tongues.
Planet of the Giants?
Planet of the Giants.
Was there actual giants in it?
Well, no, because the TARDIS has shrunk.
Oh my goodness.
So that may have damaged it somehow.
Have you ever noticed that, in like in monster films or like anything with big things, it's like the directors or the writers have a massive foot fetish because you never see them from a Bianco look, do you?
You know, this actually happens in one of Capaldi's episodes. The TARDIS shrinks because what was the line?
That's got one of my most. I'd say it's one of the most iconic Capaldi scenes where it's literally the Thing from
crawling along
from Adam's Family.
It's like the beings that are the boneless. He calls them the boneless, doesn't he?
Yeah.
They're sapping the dimensional energy or something like that.
Yeah, it's got Moxie from I'll Be the Same Pet.
Probably was one of the best effects in that episode as well in Capaldi's era.
Yeah, as you say, that where he's crawling along the train tracks.
But so the giants.
Yeah, I think the TARDIS may have been damaged by that, or it's just generally just a knackered old police box.
Another thing, so the Doctor's always like well known for having superpowers, basically.
Yeah.
Like Tennant could just like look at something and tell you how all things are. Whittaker was eating soil, for example. We all have like their own little quirks, like call them superpowers. How was it that the Doctor was not able to know immediately what year they were in when they landed, or only simply knowing they weren't in the 60s anymore? Were these sort of powers? What sort of person was the Doctor back then in the 60s? So?
He's quite young.
Was it just a guy in a box called the Doctor?
Superpower was eccentricity, really.
I think he's quite young at the time as well. That's the thing. It's his first life, he hasn't aged that much, and
so he's still learning his trade.
Yeah, he hasn't got experience, but I mean, you're looking at the basis of Doctor Who. The beginning. There's going to be teething. You're looking at something that's had many the current Doctor Who. You're looking at something that's had many series, many bits added, and this sort of thing. So I think that at that point you're looking at Doctor Who as in its infancy. How many storylines had happened by the point of that?
This was only the second story of the second series.
Yeah.
So
what year is it? 64.
64, I would say. 65.
Oh, 65. So it was okay. They only had long seasons as well, didn't they? Like 50
yeah.
episodes long. Especially in the first one. Was the Doctor Who used to be like weekly, like a soap at one point? Didn't really have a break.
It was on weekly for about 20 odd weeks of the year.
Really? Wow.
And then it would have a brief break and then come back again. So you get 2 or 3 lots a week, a year.
Nice.
I found this episode interesting from a historical point of view, where they noticed the chimneys had stopped smoking due to the rise of nuclear power.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of everyone's very focused on like the coal mines, and I think it's around this time that coal mining was starting to like go away, basically.
No, not really. In the 1960s, coal mining would have been at its peak. It was the 70s where coal mining started to deteriorate under Thatcher. She was the one who started to close most of the coal mines.
That's why everyone hates her.
Well, not everybody hates her. This is the thing, you know, like from a point of view of someone who doesn't like Margaret Thatcher, yeah, you feel that everybody hates her, but from the point of view that of the Conservatives in there, you know, she is a god in their party's eyes, you know. Well, she was.
I remember during her funeral, everyone was tweeting, "Glad she's dead, glad she's dead." Anyway, let's not get into that.
Yes, we'll save that for all the podcasts.
Yeah.
Boo Thatcher.
Ex-Prime Ministers we wish were dead. How many are left? One down. So, something else I've noticed, Dalek voices didn't sound as robotic as I would have expected.
No.
Was it?
I think that's probably just due to primitive
Is a classic
technology.
Dalek? Is it a classic Dalek voice something that came about later on?
Much later on, yeah.
Well, the Daleks do upgrade as they go as well.
Yeah.
You know, like they still keep the base form, but the start, as you saw in this episode, when they first came in, I think Chesterton says that when they first met them, when they first
travel on metal,
they couldn't travel across grasslands.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that episode.
I've seen that episode. It's good. It's a decent episode.
It doesn't remind me of the Daleks a bit useless. Oh no, we can't go out. We can't go outside. Look at them run.
So about the sort of development of the Daleks, there's one story called The Chase, which I won't do as classic review because it's 10 episodes long, but it's a long watch. But there's one scene where a Dalek starts to drown in some sand, and then gets out and starts coughing.
They really didn't think that Dalek through, did they?
And also, there's also a scene where Frankenstein's monster attacks a Dalek as well. It's an insane episode.
Brilliant. Excellent.
An insane story.
Well, the crazy ones were the best ones. They're the most memorable, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, just this Dalek rising back out of the sun and going...
Well, yeah, but Dalek is a living organism inside.
Yeah, who said there are allergies?
So, have you got anything further to say? Dalek invasion of Earth.
As I say, I didn't watch the full thing this time round. Is this the episode where Susan stays behind?
Yes.
I thought so. Yeah.
There's a great speech right at the end.
He gives a speech whilst looking at the camera, like he does.
One day I shall come back. Yes, I will come back. Until then, there will be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties.
Yeah.
Just go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me that I'm not mistaken in mine.
Yeah, that's
Did he
quite
ever
an
come back?
iconic speech as well.
She came back.
Did she?
He never came back for her.
Oh. It's a bit tight.
But there's lots of audio stories about what Susan did next.
She went to live on a farm.
Yeah.
That's where my dog went.
It's what happens to people.
Sounds like fun. Lots of cute. So, how would we rate this episode? Do we do lapels, monocles?
Monocles out of 10.
Monocles. I would give this 7 monocles out of 10 because even though like I do rate Hartnell as the Doctor, there are certain and like it is, as you say, product of its time, and but there are certain things about the episode. I think I mentioned about the spaceship being made out of wood and sounding like it that really do detract from it. So 7.
I mean, bearing in mind it is, you can't judge it by like when it was made. Like Star Wars, for example. If you look back, it's really with special effects now. If you look back to what it was back when, it's like that's just what we had to go with.
Yeah,
and I don't think it really detracts from the enjoyment. I think as a new Classic Who viewer, it does affect me slightly, but that's only because I watched the modern episodes first. I would give this one 8.5 monocles. I did think this episode was best, and I think it was. I think it's up there with Pyramids of Mars. It was absolutely brilliant, and I'd watch it again. It was very long.
Yeah.
I think it was 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
It was
6 episodes.
Yeah, it was very long. I wasn't prepared for how long it was.
You it was 6 episodes.
Yes,
You were saying
yes, but
5.
I'm stupid and I don't listen. So yeah, I wasn't prepared for that. But yeah, 8.5 monocles. It was brilliant. Absolutely. I love the visuals. It's got some of the most classic visuals of Doctor Who. That for you, it's the Dalek rising out of the water. For me, it's when the Daleks walking, rolling, see me rolling.
Yeah.
You hate it. No, you see me rolling, exterminating. But you know where it's like it's outside the Houses of Parliament, and it's like the Elizabeth Tower is there. It's just known back then, the tower, and it just looks around, and it's just that iconic. You can screenshot that, and I just have it as my screen search. A lot of iconic imagery. I love the something we don't do in a lot of other episodes of Doctor Who. It's world building, where they sort of show you how everyone's living in the world. That's been invaded by Daleks, and they're all like scavenging for food. It's like sort of very wartime, like World War II, Great War as they called it, wartime. Where we're just after any little bit of food, like beans. And you see them like by how fast they're eating their food, by how hungry they are. And so subtleties that I really enjoyed in Doctor Who. If it's one thing I love more than the writing, more than cinematography, it's the actors' direction, the way they take it forward, because it's how they choose to portray those characters as to how the world is built. Simple things by saying "Shut up, Susan," or the fact that
"Shut up, Jenny."
They're saying, "Oh, so what can you cook?" We're not saying it. I mean, probably are because she's a woman, but we're saying it because they have so little food, and we want someone to like sort of drag it on like it's so short of food, and there's a lot of emphasis on food and where they get the next meal from, and the proper. I just love that imagery. Was just amazing for me, and it's really built up the world and.
Yeah, it really buys into the whole water.
Yeah, that's something we don't even do in Modern Who either. It's not something we don't even do that in New Who. It's just something that's I've only ever seen that done in that episode, and it made it extremely different to previous episodes of Doctor Who I've ever seen.
So it's gone down well then.
Yeah, definitely. It's probably one of the best ones you ever brought in.
Next on History Lesson.
Dun dun dun.
Bum bum bum.
Our first Pat Troughton story.
Nice.
The Enemy of the World.
Wow.
Now,
I wouldn't want to be that guy.
Powerful title. Title.
They're all very metal titles back then.
The Enemy of the World.
This was caused a great deal of excitement when it was rediscovered. It's one of the first sort of found storylines. Set in Australia and Hungary.
Was this the one that was found in Australia as well? Like it was. I know there was a couple that was found in somebody's
attic. There were a
attic.
lot found in Australia because they didn't care about the copyright protocols. Because after they were viewed, they had to be destroyed within 2 weeks. I think the rule was.
Now I'm not sure where they
found the episode.
Where they found the missing episodes. It doesn't really say on here.
So you can bring up a synopsis next week.
Yeah, but great storyline. There's a great. I think there's a. I don't know if it was an ad lib or it was scripted from the Doctor, but I'll let you find that.
Yeah.
So that's the Enemy of the World coming up soon.
Cool, can't wait.
Excellent.
When are you bringing the DVD in?
Tomorrow.
Yes.
I think.
And I'll bring your DVD in tomorrow as well.
How many episodes are we? 4 episodes.
It's a 6 episode
it's
one.
a six
and
episode.
Pat Troughton plays the Enemy of the World as well.
Very nice.
He plays 2 characters.
Yes, he plays a character called Salamander, who is the titular Enemy of the World.
Excellent.
I love a dual character role.
Yeah.
Great, can't wait.
I think I'll get started on it tonight because I've got nothing better to do. What can I say?
So moving on,
Mm-hmm.
we have a return of Whoniverse Hogwash.
I love the theme tune.
Whoniverse Hogwash is it real? Is it fun?
Bum bum.
So, this week...
Going down, Brian, you're going down!
Can't remember what my total score is. I'm actually re-listening to all the episodes to have a final score.
I
Where are you?
believe Lewis is 1 point ahead. Or one.
Well,
we don't.
It's entire points. So, like, if you get... there's a maximum of 10 points you can get per time. Just to recap the rules, we have the title and the description. If you get both right, you get 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a total of 10 points... Oh, Brian's warming up his glasses. If you get a total of 10 points, and that's 10 points towards your total score, first to 100.
Okay.
Okay? Do you understand the rules?
Are we sticking with first to 100 points here? Because I mean, we have sort of changed the boundaries of what a win, comes.
Yeah, but the sooner one of us gets to 100 points, the sooner we can stop playing the game.
We're never going to stop playing the game. So this week I thought I'd do planets.
Okay.
In Doctor Who, make it a bit more difficult, especially for Brian. Because as I was looking around, especially classic episodes and stuff, I was like, Brian will probably know all of these. I want to keep it fair as possible and not give Brian too much of an edge. As usual, there's always one Stargate, one in there somewhere. Or maybe there isn't. Maybe I'm just saying that to put you off. Who knows?
Who knows?
So, who won last week?
I think
it was the week.
Was it a draw?
I won. Yeah, I
You won
last time. Yeah,
I
Okay.
just nicked it, yeah.
So,
1 point ahead, won I?
because you get to go first then.
Okay.
Winner goes first.
Woohoo!
So the planet is called the Library. This once peaceful planet was invaded by the deadly Vashta Narada, home to the largest library in the world. This planet holds every book that has ever been or ever will be written. Whoniverse or hogwash?
Whoniverse.
Are you sure?
It's
The planet is called the Library? Anyway.
Wait, the planet is called the library? Yeah, Whoniverse.
Okay. Brian?
In an effort to try and turn this ship around, I will say that somewhere in the back of my mind the planet wasn't called the Library. So I'm going to say Hogwash Whoniverse.
Okay. Lewis? You get 2 points.
Excellent.
The planet was indeed called the Library.
Because the entire planet was a library. That's the thing,
I looked that up, double checked it,
Yeah.
watched the episode again. Definitely called the Library because I couldn't believe it myself. Brian, Elysium. This is a planet where the myth, the dead finally. This is a planet where the myth in which the dead finally reach their final resting place. Only the blessed will ever find their way here. Whoniverse or hogwash?
Whoniverse Hogwash.
Whoniverse hogwash. Okay.
I'm going for double hogwash.
Double hogwash. Brian,
Mm-hmm.
got 1 point. Lewis, 2 points.
Oh yes! He's smashing
Hogwash,
it.
hogwash.
Yeah.
This is a great myth, but I feel it would have been a great episode one day. It's from Greek mythology.
Yeah.
Elysium, the Elysium Fields, if you would, is where the blessed go, and it's a final resting place.
That would make a good episode, though. Yeah, you're right.
Lewis,
Yes.
Wilson 1. The planet in which the Doctor and co get stranded on in the book Lost in Space. The Doctor and company have been stranded on Wilson 1 and must work together to survive and one day signal for help.
Hogwash.
But will the day come?
Hogwash.
Okay. Brian?
Whoniverse.
Alright, I'm just going to say that's the plot line of Lost in Space.
Okay.
I'm sure it is.
So it's a real planet.
Oh, is it? Wilson
Yeah,
1?
Wilson 1. The planet is mentioned in the serial Trial of a Time Lord Mind Warp. The description, however, is from Castaway.
Oh, is it?
I just reworded it.
Oh,
So you both get a point each, don't you?
I think so.
yeah, 1 point apiece.
Who's in the lead?
Lewis.
You can still make it back, well, can't you?
Of course I can.
You're only
I've
2 points
I've got
behind.
faith in me.
Yeah, so the current standing is... Is it 5 points to Lewis?
5
Yeah.
points to 3.
And 3 points to Brian. Indigo 3, Brian,
Mm-hmm.
is the location of a blue desert in the audio drama Skull of Sobek. The desert is perfectly symmetrical, but in the centre is the sanctuary of imperfect symmetry, a religious retreat which exists to counterbalance the desert's perfection.
Whoniverse.
Okay.
I'm going to agree with Brian on this. Whoniverse.
It is Whoniverse.
Mm-hmm.
2 points each.
7-5.
It's your last chance.
I can only.
You can only draw at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Wait, do I have to lose both points? And
Yeah.
yeah,
You
right.
basically have to say hogwash.
Don't do that, Jamie. Don't do that.
Okay, sorry. You
Right.
basically have to say Whoniverse hogwash.
These
Yeah.
mind games.
Yeah, no.
So I'll be glad to see the end of this.
Yeah, no.
Souls free. This is actually another name for planet Earth used by other races throughout the universe. It was used in the beginning scenes of the episode Last of the Time Lords. Lewis.
Souls free.
Yeah. Do you want to spell it?
Yeah.
SOLS. Number 3.
Okay.
Because we needed a sequel to 1 and 2. Could be messing with you. I haven't decided yet.
I'm gonna say hogwash and Whoniverse.
Okay. Brian.
I'm going to say Whoniverse. Yet
Two-
again.
2 points for Brian. It is. So,
Point for Lewis.
a total score?
8-7.
8-7 to Lewis. So close.
Excellent. Excellent.
Whoniverse a hogwash. Is it real? Is it fake? Also, all those planets spelled out your name, Lewis.
Excellent. Did you
Yeah.
do that on purpose?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah.
The Library.
Yeah.
Elysium. Wilson. 1. Indigo. 3. Souls 3. I wanted to have all the planets have numbers in it, but unfortunately your name was a bit difficult. So, that's it for Whovian Whoniverse this week.
Yeah. So glad I won that.
Yeah.
All right. Be sure to check out our YouTube channel. Just type Whovian Whoniverse and check out our second show, Product Rewho, where we'll be looking to discuss all the awesome items in Doctor Who. It airs every last Friday of the month. Exciting.
Exciting.
You're trying to do that in a Serbian accent again when
No,
you don't.
I can't help it though. It's like
When you
Yeah.
turn the Serbian accent off.
Be sure to check out our YouTube channel.
Our listeners are
Do
deaf
all
now.
Serbians shout?
It sounds like it actually. It's one of the Slavic languages, so it sounds very angry. You know.
And if you want to be kept up to date on everything Whoniverse, be sure to follow our Twitter at Whoniverse, where you can get the latest developments on our latest projects and vote on our polls.
Yeah. Speaking of Twitter, you can follow me on Watson's Musings.
And myself, Beej at. It's basic reading out loud, Brian. Come on,
Yeah.
you're 47 years of old.
It's basic thinking as well.
I'm losing the plot.
He's losing his Sphinxy.
Me no
And
thinking.
myself at Beej007, and also you can follow Lewis in real life.
I have a Twitter and why would you put that, Jamie? It says for the listeners, I have a Twitter. I just don't know my own username. It's Elbrook. It's at Elbrook 14.
None of us have come out very well, have they?
Yeah, no, I really do need to change my handle.
You have been listening to Whovian Whoniverse. Have a week!